Imagine a room filled with people, all silent, eyes fixed on a screen, captivated by a story unfolding. Now, imagine someone sitting quietly in the corner, not watching, seemingly disengaged. You might think they're missing out, but what if they're not? What if they're simply experiencing the world differently? There's a psychology to those who don't watch movies, a unique way of seeing and interacting with reality that's often overlooked. It's not about laziness or indifference, but perhaps a deeper, more introspective way of being. This is about understanding the hidden strengths of those who choose to step away from the screen, a phenomenon that can be linked to what psychologists call sensory processing sensitivity. These individuals aren't just avoiding movies, they're navigating life on their own terms. What can we learn from them? What do they see that others might miss? Let's dive in. The Spectator Void is a stark, almost existential realization that for many, life's precious moments are spent passively, watching light dance on a wall. This is not just about the act of watching movies, but about the mental space it occupies. Think of the countless hours, days even, that slip away as the brain surrenders to the flickering images. It's a phenomenon that taps into the concept of flow as described by psychologist Mihai Csikszentmihalyi, but instead of creative or productive engagement, it's a flow into passive consumption. The mind may be active, but it's not actively shaping its own reality. Consider the person who comes home from a long day of work, eats dinner, and immediately plops down in front of the TV. The remote becomes an extension of their hand, and the screen, a portal to a world that requires no effort, no thought, no engagement. It's a numbing routine, a way to escape the monotony of daily life. But in this escape, something is lost. The spectator void grows, a chasm between the self and the world, filled with light and sound, but devoid of true connection or growth. This passive consumption can also be seen as a form of cognitive miserliness, a term coined by social psychologists Susan Fiske and Shelley Taylor. It refers to the brain's tendency to take mental shortcuts to conserve energy. Watching movies, with their ready-made stories and emotions, is the ultimate mental shortcut. But while it saves mental energy in the short term, it may lead to a poverty of experience and a lack of personal growth in the long run. Yet, there's a twist to this apparent void. For some, the act of not watching movies is a conscious choice, a way to reclaim their mental space. They seek out other forms of entertainment and engagement, from reading to hiking to socializing. They fill their time with activities that require active participation, that stimulate the mind and body. In this way, the spectator void becomes not a chasm, but a bridge to a more engaged and fulfilling life. It's a reminder that our time is finite, and how we choose to spend it shapes who we are. The theater is dark, the air thick with anticipation. Yet, amidst the sea of eager faces, there's one who sits apart. They are the ghost, a term coined by philosopher and psychologist William James, who explored the concept of the sick soul, individuals who grapple with existential questions and find little solace in the modern world's distractions. This ghost doesn't scoff at the movies playing on the screen, they simply see through them. They've recognized the films for what they are, a carefully crafted simulation of life, a copy of the original experience. Their detachment isn't aloofness. It's a byproduct of their deep engagement with the world around them. They're like the highly sensitive person, HSP, described by psychologist Elaine Aron, who processes sensory data and experiences more deeply. The ghost feels the texture of life, the nuances of reality, in a way that makes the simulated drama on screen pale in comparison. They aren't bored, they're just not captivated by the illusion. It's not that they can't appreciate the artistry of film. It's that they're too busy appreciating the artistry of life. Their interest in the original is insatiable. They're the ones who notice the subtle shift in light as the sun sets, who hear the symphony in the everyday sounds of the city. This isn't mere observation, it's a form of mindfulness, a concept from Buddhist philosophy popularized in the West by John Kabat-Zinn. It's a way of being fully present, fully engaged with the now. They're not anti-movie, they're pro-reality. They've chosen to be spectators of life, not just its simulations. Yet, this choice comes with a cost. They're often seen as the odd one out, the one who doesn't fit in. But this is also their strength. Their perspective allows them to see through the facades, the societal scripts that others play out. They're the ones who ask the uncomfortable questions, who challenge the status quo. They're not just ghosts, they're the ones who haunt the theater of the mind, disturbing the comfortable and comforting the disturbed. Their journey is one of existential authenticity, a concept explored by philosopher Jean-Paul Sartre, who emphasized the importance of living in accordance with one's true nature. And in the grand theater of life, their role is anything but minor. In the quiet corners of life, away from the glowing screens and narrated dramas, lies a sacred presence. It's a presence reclaimed by those who choose not to watch movies. This choice isn't about rejection but about creation. It's a conscious decision to treat their time as a canvas for their own existential art of living. They are not passive spectators but active participants in their own narratives. Consider the concept of flow, coined by psychologist Mihai Csikszentmihalyi. It's that state of complete absorption or focus where one loses track of time. For these individuals, every moment is an opportunity to enter the state. They might spend hours engrossed in a painting, lost in the pages of a book, or immersed in a challenging conversation. It's not about avoiding entertainment but about seeking a deeper, more engaging form of it. They are not watching life, they are living it. Their lives are not filled with pauses for plot twists or cliffhangers. Instead, they are filled with the anticipation of their own decisions and the consequences of their actions. They are the authors, directors, and actors of their own stories. This is not to say their lives are without external influences. Rather, they choose to engage with the world directly, drawing inspiration from their surroundings, their experiences, and their interactions. They are not waiting for a story to be told, they are telling their own story. This way of living is a form of psychological empowerment. It's about taking control of one's narrative and asserting one's autonomy. It's a manifestation of what psychologists Richard Ryan and Edward Deci call self-determination theory. This theory suggests that people are motivated by three innate psychological needs: autonomy, competence, and relatedness. By choosing not to watch movies, these individuals are fulfilling their need for autonomy. They are making a conscious choice to direct their own lives, to be competent in their own stories, and to relate to the world on their own terms. They are not passive recipients of someone else's vision. They are active creators of their own reality. And this sacred presence they've reclaimed is a testament to their strength and resilience. In the vast landscape of human experiences, there exists a peculiar group of individuals who abstain from watching movies. This choice, often misconstrued as social disconnect, can be reframed as an exercise in existential freedom, a liberation from the collective ego and the cultural mirror that films often represent. These individuals, often high in sensory processing sensitivity, as defined by psychologist Elaine Aron, are not merely avoiding entertainment, they are actively choosing to engage with the world on their own terms. Their sensitivity makes them more attuned to the subtle nuances of life, often finding the exaggerated emotions and conflict-driven narratives of movies to be overwhelming. This sensitivity is not a weakness but a form of heightened awareness. It allows them to see through the cultural narratives that movies often perpetuate. They are not bound by the collective ego, the shared beliefs and values that movies often reinforce. Instead, they forge their own path, carving out a unique identity that is not shaped by the cultural mirror of cinema. This is akin to what philosopher Jean-Paul Sartre referred to as bad faith, where one avoids engaging with their true freedom and authenticity. By not watching movies, these individuals are actively engaging with their freedom, choosing to define their reality on their own terms. Moreover, this existential freedom allows them to escape the hedonic treadmill, a concept in positive psychology that refers to the never-ending pursuit of happiness through external means. Movies, with their often unrealistic depictions of happiness and success, can fuel this treadmill. By abstaining, these individuals are not chasing happiness through external stimuli but finding it within themselves. They are not disconnected from society, they are simply choosing a different way to engage with it. This choice, far from being a social disconnect, is a form of social commentary, a silent protest against the cultural narratives that movies often perpetuate. It is a testament to their strength, their resilience, and their unwavering commitment to their own truth. Choosing not to engage with movies is often seen as a peculiarity, but it can be a profound statement of self-sufficiency. This decision can be anchored in the concept of autonomous motivation, a key tenet of self-determination theory. This theory posits that people are driven by three innate psychological needs: autonomy, competence, and relatedness. For those who don't watch movies, the choice may stem from a deep-seated need for autonomy, a desire to control their own narrative rather than consuming those crafted by others. It's not about rejecting entertainment, but about curating experiences that align with their personal values and interests. Consider someone who spends their evenings reading, painting, or simply reflecting on their day. They might feel a sense of accomplishment and self-discovery that a movie cannot provide. This isn't laziness or disinterest. It's a conscious decision to invest time in activities that foster a sense of competence and personal growth. They are the architects of their own experiences, building a life that feels authentic and meaningful. Moreover, This choice can be a form of boundary setting, a way to protect their mental and emotional space. In a world saturated with content, opting out of movies can be a radical act of self-care. It's akin to what philosopher Friedrich Nietzsche termed the will to power, the drive to determine one's own values and desires. By choosing not to watch movies, these individuals assert their sovereignty over their time and attention. This path leads to an ultimate realization: the internal universe is vast and rich. The stories we tell ourselves, the dreams we weave, and the thoughts we explore are often more compelling than any Hollywood script. This isn't arrogance or detachment. It's a profound understanding that the most extraordinary adventures happen within. You are a sovereign being, and your own mind is the most expansive frontier you will ever explore. The validation comes from within, a quiet confidence that your internal world is a masterpiece in its own right. As we've seen, those who don't watch movies often possess a unique set of strengths. Their heightened focus on the present moment, a trait aligned with the psychological concept of mindfulness, allows them to engage deeply with the world around them. Their preference for authentic experiences over vicarious ones is not a lack of imagination, but a conscious choice to fulfill their self-determination theory's intrinsic needs, autonomy, competence, and relatedness in real life. They are not avoiding stories, they are choosing to live theirs more fully. Now, we'd love to hear from you. Do you know someone who doesn't watch movies? Or perhaps you relate to some of these traits? Share your thoughts in the comments below. And if you found this exploration intriguing, stay tuned for our next video where we'll delve into the psychology of people who prefer reading over watching. We'll explore concepts like the embodied cognition theory and how reading can shape our brains differently. Until then, keep questioning, keep exploring, and most importantly, keep living your own story.